Hello, everyone. Greetings once again from Christ Church, Missoula. This is Pastor Flynn with our weekly meditation here on Good Friday. And our weekly meditation is from Psalm 22, verse 1. My God, why have you forsaken me? The Gospels record 7 statements that Jesus made while dying on the cross. One of them is, my God, why have you forsaken me? Now, this statement is often misconstrued to be Jesus crying out in despair that the Father has forsaken him, but nothing could be further from the truth. Jesus absolutely knew that he was going to be crucified on the cross and be raised again from the dead. This is something he explicitly told the disciples many times, even though they did not understand him until after his resurrection. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 2 tells us that Jesus endured the cross for the joy that was set before him. There was no confusion, fear, or uncertainty in Jesus concerning the Father's love and will for him in going to the cross. On the cross, Jesus quotes the first line to Psalm 22. In doing this, he understand what's happening on the cross in light of the whole psalm, not just the first line. When we do, we see that Jesus' statement is far from being a cry for help in a moment of insecurity and doubt. No, Jesus is making a declaration that what is happening on the cross is a fulfillment of Psalm 22, which is all about him and his victory. In Psalm 22, verses 1 through 5, this is a prayer to God. Start in verse 1, our verse of the week is the beginning of that. It's a prayer to God for help, but it is also a declaration of trust in God because of his faithfulness in the past. Verses 6 through 8 mention the people who ridiculed Jesus while he was dying on the cross, as recorded in Matthew chapter 27, verses 29 through 34, virtually verbatim. Verses 9 through 11 declare once again his complete trust in God, who has been his God from the womb, even though he is still suffering. In verses 12 through 18, now Jesus is close to death, and it's described in the psalm as him being close to death. And he also, in those verses, specifically says that his hands and his feet have been pierced, and he describes the soldiers who cast lots for his clothing at the foot of the cross. But in verse 21, everything changes. It is the turning point in the psalm. Verse 21 is a declaration of joy and thanks that God has answered his prayer. And then the rest of the psalm after that is a song of praise to God for his deliverance. Verse 24 even expressly says, contrary to what is commonly taught concerning the cross, that he, God, has not despised nor abhorred the affliction of the afflicted, who is Jesus, nor has he, God, hidden his face from him, which is Jesus. No, Jesus is not worried or confused about what is happening. He is boldly declaring his victory and the victory of the kingdom of heaven that he is accomplishing on the cross. In triumph, verses 27 and 28 say, all the ends of the world shall remember and turn to the Lord, and all the families of the nations shall worship before you. For the kingdom is the Lord's, and he rules over the nations. This is what Jesus is saying when he says, my God, why have you forsaken me? Quoting that first line from the victorious King. He is ruler of heaven and earth. Well, thanks for listening. Until next time, glory to the Lord of hosts.